Good morning, sports fans. I'm your host, Sam Rozum, and welcome back to another edition of The Roundup. To begin today's show, we will check in with our Fitchburg State sports insider, JJ Catalano, for a recap of this year's Fitchburg State's fall sports team seasons. We will then have Boston Celtics reporter Sam Boland in the studio to give his takes on their hot start to the season. After our Celtics talk, we will feature an exclusive interview with Fitchburg State's men's basketball player, Javon Taylor. To wrap up our show, JJ and Sam will have a heated debate about the state of the Patriots. With that being said, we have a ton of great news to get through the day, so let me hand it over to JJ.
Thank you, Sam. Starting things off, the men's soccer team wrapped up their season with a 4-11-3 overall record and a 1-4-2 record in their conference. That gave them their first playoff berth in 4 years. They went on to lose in the quarterfinals of that playoff run. Joshua Temking and Dante Ramadan were both selected to the MASCAC's first team all-conference. Our women's soccer team, on the other hand, had a 4-11-4 record and a 2-3-2 mark in the conference, which also gave them a playoff berth where their season ended in the semifinals. Ashley Porter was selected to the MASCAC's first team for all-conference, and Adriana Westcott and Taylor Senecal were both selected to the second team for the MASCAC's all-conference. Our volleyball team had a program record 8 wins in this past season with their 8-17 record, where they went on to lose in the quarterfinals of the playoffs. Stephanie Sardella was selected to the MASCAC's second team all-conference. Our field hockey team finished with a 4-13 record and a 3-7 record in conference, where they also went on to lose in the quarterfinals. Jenna Morse and Sophia Yates were both selected to the MASCAC's first team all-conference, and Alexis Raymond and Autumn Tibbetts were both selected to the second team for the MASCAC's all-conference. And finally, the Fitchburg Falcons football team finished with an 0-10 record and an 0-8 mark in the MASCAC, but Cam Monette was selected to the MASCAC's first team all-conference. That's all we have for our Fitchburg sports. Sending it back to you, Sam.
Thank you for the great insight, JJ. I'm certainly looking forward to next season to see how all of our teams improve, including my own field hockey team. Now for our next segment, we want to take a closer look into the specifics of what has made this current Celtics team so successful up to this point of the year. Who better to go to than the one of the best in the game, Sam Boland. Hi, Sam. How are we doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, Sam.
I'm glad to hear that. Now I want to begin this segment by asking about our new additions, KP and Drew Holiday, two players that I think we can all agree have had a huge impact for the C's. What is it that you've liked most about both of their games this season, and what ways have they helped contribute to winning?
I love the additions of KP and Drew. I think offensively, they bring so many options for us. Having 4 guys that can just go out and score 20 points on any given night is something that you're not going to see on many other rosters in the NBA. Another thing that I really like is KP's ability to break down a 2-3 zone. There's a lot of the defenses we're going to be seeing when we go up against teams like the Heat. They love the 2-3 zone. So having him to be able to man the middle is going to really help us break down those defenses. And on the defensive side of the ball, this is where it gets even better. Drew Holiday, one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA. KP, 7'3", one of the best rim protectors that the league has to offer. He's averaging over a block and a half a game. And the biggest thing is the switch ability. The Celtics have always loved the switch. So having Drew Holiday have to switch onto a big, he can hold his own on the paint with some weak side help. He's one of the most efficient guards at doing that in the NBA. And then KP, 7'3", but when he's out on the perimeter, when he sticks those arms out, bro, that's long. It's tough to get around him. You know what I'm saying? As long as he's not going up against like a Kyrie or something like that, he can hold his own on the perimeter too. So it's just the options and the consistency that they bring to this team.
I agree with that. So as it stands today, the Celtics have a current record of 15-4 and are in first place in the Eastern Conference. What do you think are the biggest reasons for the team's success up to this point in the year?
I think the success is coming from how well-rounded of a team that we are. We all know we have the best starting 5 in the NBA. I don't think it's particularly close, but the numbers show it as well. We have the 4th best defense. We're only allowing 107 points per game, and that comes along with the win that we had over the Pacers, which is one of the best offenses in the NBA. They only scored 104 points. On the offensive side of the ball, we're scoring 116 a game, which ranks us at 8th. We're 1st in plus minus. We're 3rd in rebounds. I can give you these stats all day. There's very, very, very few stats where we are below league average. This is one of the most well-rounded, one of the most consistent teams in the league.
To go off of stats, right now the Celtics have 3 players with a legit chance at making the All-Star game, 2 former All-NBA guys, 2 former All-Defensive guys, and a current MVP candidate. This starting lineup is loaded with talent, like you said. How do you see the mid-season and end-of-the-season awards shaping out for our team?
Let's start with all defense. KP, Drew, we already know what they can do. Derek White as well. He's done it before. Why can't he run it back? All 3 of these guys are top 20 in defensive win shares across the league. And all 5 of our starters are as well, which is the reason why we're such a great defense. But I mean, these 3 guys specifically, Drew, KP, and Derek White, Drew and Derek White are 2 of the best point of attack defenders in the NBA. They're a problem for every other guard in the league. We already know what KP can do. He's averaging half a steal. He's averaging a block and a half. These guys defensively are just anchors. They're the reason why we are so good defensively. And then we get to JB. He got an All-NBA nod last season. We're trying to run it back again, right? He's averaging currently 21, 3.5, and 5. We got to bump those numbers up a little bit if we want to get that second team nod. But I mean, there's a lot of basketball left to play. We can still kind of bump it up a little bit. That consistency is going to stay with us. Let's see what JP can do in the All-Conference. And obviously, my good friend Jason Tatum, JT for MVP. Currently plus 900 on DraftKings if you want to throw a little money on that. But he's 4th ranked for MVP right now. I mean, the best player on the best team in the NBA. There's really not much more you can ask of him.
If I wasn't an NCAA double athlete, I would be throwing money on that. But my last question for you, Sam, is I want to know, what do you believe will be the biggest key to the Boston Celtics taking home banner 18 this season?
Said it once, I'm going to say it again. Consistency. It's the biggest thing. We've been very consistent throughout the season so far. We still have plenty of basketball to go. We have to stay consistent. We have to keep doing what we're doing. We have to keep dominating these teams. And the other thing, unfortunately, is going to be luck. Every team knows that you're going to need to be a little bit lucky if you want to make a deep run. Injuries is the biggest thing here. Our front court, KP and Al Horford, that's a really good duo to have, and you can make some deep runs with that. But they need to stay healthy. They both have a little bit of injury history. Al Horford's getting up there, no beef, but my goodness. So we just have to stay healthy. If we can stay healthy, there's not many teams that can even see us.
Well, thank you for that fantastic report, as always, Sam. I think I speak for us all in saying I'm very excited for this year's NBA playoffs and praying for a parade. Next, we are going to pivot to an interview as our team caught up with Javon Taylor, the captain of the Fitchburg State Falcons men's basketball team. He is beloved by many on campus as a basketball player and person. We want to speak with him about some of his favorite moments from here at Fitchburg, his goals and expectations for this current season, and much more. Without further ado, please enjoy the Roundup's interview with Javon.
Probably like the crowd, like camaraderie with the team, the memories, just being on a team, you know, just being a team in college. Like that's really the best way I could put that. They call me LeBron James. That's literally what they call me. I kind of just do everything. Like I don't really, the glue guy. Like that's literally what they say. I just do like literally whatever to try to get us a dub. Like if I score the ball, I'll score the ball. If I play defense, I'll play defense. Rebound. Like I literally just do whatever it takes to just get us a dub. Oh yeah, well I mean I am the captain of the team, so like pretty much my voice holds like a lot of weight. So I mean, there's not too much arguing that goes around. Like if I'm like, yo, you gotta bring your jerseys in, bring your jerseys in. Like, yo, get on the line, we gotta stretch. There's not too much arguing. So I mean, in that aspect, that's pretty just like one voice, and then it's easy to get things done because everyone's just like, it's JT. JT says something, we gotta do it, and it's just like that. Be first team, like I just want to be a first team for the conference, player of the year, just like as high as I could possibly get to see how far I can play. I don't know. I really want to be All-American. Like that's really my goal for this year. Sheesh. I guess I would say it taught me like make sure like your mental state's good. Like, I think it's very easy to let outside distractions, let outside influences cloud your judgment and like get into your head. I think if you're always able to maintain like your confidence and maintain a level of integrity with yourself, I think you'll always be fine. So I think that's what it taught me the most. Probably having fun. I think when you put too much pressure on yourself, when you put too many goals and demands on yourself, on like too many expectations, I think you add pressure and it makes it not fun. But it's basketball, so the more you have fun with it, I think the better you play. And just having a positive attitude throughout everything, I think that will make this year the best year it can be for me and everybody else that's around. All right, man.
Javon is currently averaging 11.6 points per game, 6.8 rebounds, and 1.8 assists on the year. The Falcons will look to build on their recent win versus MIT in their next game for the men's basketball team at home on December 5th. For our final segment for today, we will be having a debate over what the Patriots should do moving forward. I'm joined by two of our favorite reporters, Sam and JJ. Today, the two will debate about the New England Patriots and who should be their quarterback next season. JJ, we're going to start with you. Mac Jones has thrown 10 touchdowns and 12 interceptions in the 11 games played this year. Tell us what you think the Patriots should do at QB next year.
So I think, first and foremost, 10 touchdowns to 12 interceptions, immediate problem. Only 10 touchdowns in 11 games, also a problem. I just think that when you look around the league, there aren't many guys putting up stats like that. I know interceptions, there are guys in the area, a big name like Josh Allen has that many, but how many touchdowns does Allen have compared to Mac Jones? And I just think that from a standpoint of this team, as far as wins go and stats go, it's time to move on. 2 wins isn't going to cut it. You got to move on. You got to find a new quarterback and just rebuild.
And what do you think?
I'm pro Mac Jones. I think he can go out and win games. I truly do believe that. I just think it's if the Patriots want to go out and win games, because let's be real, the best guy he's ever thrown a football to is Jacoby Myers. No beef to Jacoby Myers, he's better at football than me. But let's be realistic, is he the best wide receiver on a Super Bowl team? Not even close, actually. So I think we rebuild, let's keep Mac Jones under center, let's get him some weapons, let's get him options, let's get him a good offensive line, let's get him an offensive coordinator for more than 2 seasons. How about that? How about let him work with a guy where he can figure out what he's good at, figure out what he's not great at, and let's kind of build this offense around him rather than just giving up.
I love your point that he has had so many different offensive coordinators and the weapons aren't there, but I think that that is just demoralizing for him as a player, and I think that he's been beat up by this coaching staff and coaching changes and personnel for so many years now, and is so young in the league that there's no coming back from it. We don't see a major drop-off in the team's weapons or anything from last year to this year. If anything, they added more by bringing in guys like Juju and Mike Gesicki. Not that they're great, but bringing those guys in, you're trying to give him more, and he went out and had less wins. And I think a lot of it is a moral standpoint. He's not in the right headspace for it. Like I said, it's Caleb Williams, Drake May. It's time for them.
I agree. He's not in the right headspace. But that's not necessarily because he's bad at football. Once again, it's the Patriots. They're not trying. You said Juju Smith-Schuster. No beef. At best. At best. You know what I'm saying? Mike Gesicki hasn't really done much this year. Both of those guys are very quiet. We've already committed to the tank. So obviously this season is kind of out the window. But if you give Mac Jones option, give Mac Jones weapon, he can win games. He had an offensive coordinator that was competent, and we made the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? And we didn't even have fantastic weapons that season. So let's see what he can go do with good weapons, a good offensive coordinator, and a franchise that wants to win games.
Well, do you think the media has impacted people's view on Mac Jones and how he's playing? Do you also think that coming from such a great quarterback, Tom Brady, has also not only affected him, but affected the rest of the team?
I think absolutely. And like I said before, I don't think it's a Mac Jones issue as a football player. I think it's a Mac Jones issue from the mental aspect of the game. You're going out there week after week being booed by your fans. Your teammates don't have faith in you. Your coaches don't have faith in you. Quite obviously, they benched him for a guy like Bailey Zappi. I'm just saying, at this point, Mac Jones came in and he had crazy high expectations. He obviously didn't meet them, and I don't think that as a Patriot, Mac Jones can win a Super Bowl. I think that if you want to pick up his option and bring him as a backup, and if you need him or he has a really good camp for whatever reason, sure, give him another shot. But I don't think he should be your number one guy heading into next year with the amount of names in this draft and free agency class.
I mean, I agree with you on the high expectation parts. Coming into a franchise where the bar is the greatest football player of all time. Come on. You know what I'm saying? So, like, having that mindset immediately as soon as you come into the game, having them, you know what gets clicks? Talk about the media, you know what gets clicks? Hate. Hate gets clicks. Unfortunately, that's what it is. So, obviously, the media is going to push stuff like that. They're going to be like, oh, his teammates hate him. Oh, the fans hate him, stuff like that. They're going to try to bring this guy down because that's what's going to get clicks. That's what they're here for. But you know what I mean? Like, there's been times where his teammates have acknowledged that, like, hey, we're not great, but he's trying his best. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he's going to do every single time. He's going to go out. It's not like he's trying. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he's just out there just, it looks like it sometimes, but you know what I'm saying? He's trying to win games. It's just he's in a bad situation to go out and do that.
And do you guys think that we should just keep on tanking the season and just go for a good draft pick? Or do you think maybe let's just finish out the season and try to get some wins on the board so we don't look horrible?
It's time to tank. And like I said, it's time for a new guy. And if you want to take the approach of keeping Mac Jones around, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt here. You draft a guy, a quarterback, and you give him the Pat Mahomes treatment. Let him sit under Mac for a year. Once Mac is 10 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, back to the bench, and it's time for your new quarterback to take over. And that helps out in the realm of the new quarterback you just drafted because he gets to learn a little bit before he's thrown out there, like Mac Jones was. And I just think that it's time to move on at some point. But I have no issue with picking up his fifth-year option, but he's not your starter.
I think that I agree with the tank. I think let's lose games 2-10. Like let's give up on the season. I'm usually not a fan of that kind of stuff, but I mean at this point might as well. But let's go get a guy like Marvin Harrison. Let's go get a playmaker. Let's go someone who can actually get in the end zone for once. You know what I'm saying? Let's give him an option. Let's see what he can do. Right? If we give Mac Jones options and he doesn't go out and win football games, fair. You know what I'm saying? But as of right now, we haven't really seen that to its full potential. The closest we saw to it was that playoff run that he made, and that's when he actually had okay weapons. He had a good offensive coordinator. You know what I'm saying? But let's go get a guy like Marvin Harrison, a guy we know can get in the end zone, a guy who can make big plays, and then let's see what can happen.
I just think that the biggest thing here is that I think Mac Jones could be a plug-and-play kind of guy where in a 49ers offense, he can go out and win games. The Patriots are never going to be one of those teams where they're spending that much money. They're a defensive team. A lot of their money is going to go to defense. You need a quarterback who can march you down the field. I mean, Mac Jones has 2 wins this year. He's 18-24 in his entire career. Cam Newton went out and won 8 games in a season with the Patriots. Mac Jones' most was his rookie year with 9 wins. So as far as that stat tells me, they're a similar player.
Well, I think I'm going to cut you guys off here on this debate, but we got to wrap up the show. Thank you, two, for this discussion. You both never disappoint. Unfortunately, I believe that is all the time we have for today's show. Thank you for watching today's edition of The Roundup. I'm your host, Sam Rozum, signing off.